Anthony, King of the Hill is back. We're so excited for this reiteration of this show. What drew you to be a part of this? Was this something you auditioned for to be Emilio, or did they find you?
Well, I kind of auditioned, but it was more of a thing where because I've worked with Mike Judge before in the past over the years on a few different projects, and so when this opportunity came by, Mike Judge hit me up. I was one of the first ones to hit me up, and he goes, "I think you'd be great for this part," and here we are, King of the Hill, the season 14.
How was then Emilio described to you? Did he give you a little bit of a character breakdown?
You know what? Actually, I never saw the character until really like the last recording session that we did before we closed down the season. Um, but yeah, I had no clue that the character kind of looked like me in a way, So I was just tripping out. But he just kind of gave me the dialogue and just just basically the premises of this is what it is and try a couple different styles, couple different ways, slow it down a little bit and let's see what you got, and yeah, I was able to knock it out. Thank God.
Were you guys all recording together? Or was this an individual part for you?
We did all the table reads, we did them together, but when it came to recording, the recording process, everybody's in the booth on their own. It's just you and the director. That's it.
Oh, so you didn't even get to see their take on their response, or could you hear it in your earphones of what they were saying?
In some cases, yeah, the voices were they already had certain lines already recorded, so I was able to hear some things. But a lot of it, nah, a lot of it, it was just like here's the dialogue. It's in front of you, and they just try like four or five different ways. Just get creative with it, and we'll the director picks whatever they feel it's going to fit the character best.
Okay, when you got those initial scripts, were you hoping that Emilio got to share a scene with any particular characters?
Um, you know what? I wasn't really like thinking about it like that, but I was told, when I started seeing that, that I had a lot of scenes with Bobby, because Bobby's, I've always found him to be an interesting character since he was, his character always is since he was a kid and a teenager, So he's always been funny to me and interesting. So I was happy about that. I was like, oh man, that's tight. I get to be in a lot of scenes with Bobby.
He is an iconic character at this point. I
Yeah.
mean, it's so nice to see the development they've created for him. What was
Yeah.
your initial reaction then when you saw where we'd pick up with King of the Hill?
I was curious. I'm not gonna lie, I was very curious to see how was this gonna play out. The continuing of the, from season 13. I was like, man, so that was like my biggest thing. I was like, man, I really want, So when I got that first script and I read it right away, the whole thing right away, because I was like super interested around and wanted to see where it was going. And then I was impressed. I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. And then I saw the second script and like, oh man, it just keeps getting better and better. So I was like, man, this is awesome, man. So I'm sure all the fans, especially the hardcore fans, are gonna be super stoked with this new season.
Okay, I know you can't tease what happens this season, but I know where we pick up, certainly with the family. Are you able to talk about some of your favorite episodes you got to be a part of? If you're able to number drop.
Man, I mean, obviously the first one because I have a cool amount of scene in there, but the first one because the way it starts out the story is like it's just like super funny the way it starts off. I don't want to give out too much for the people that haven't seen it yet, but yeah, it's super funny the way it starts off, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be able to relate. If you haven't seen it, I know you're going to relate to a lot of the stuff that's going on because Mike Judge, that's what he does. He always touches on everything that's going on in the world.
What do you think it is about King of the Hill that just continues to make it timeless, a time honored series that people just cherish so much? Sort of like comfort food, I think, because
Yeah.
it's just people like me. I grew up kind of watching him, but at the same time, I think Mike makes such funny storylines with heart and humor all mixed in together. Maybe I just pitched it for you.
No, I mean, you said it pretty much. That's what it is, and Mike always makes sure that all the stories are relevant to people. And that's the thing though, because we all have families, we all go through issues, we all go, good times, bad times, and there's a lot of humor, and everything in everyday life. If you really look around, there's a lot of funny stuff that goes on, and a lot of humor, that I think the people relate to that. So that's one of the main things. I always say it's a good family show. Everybody can watch it, everybody can have a good time watching it, and there's a lot of things you could take away from it.
Is that then what you continue to enjoy so much about working with Mike Judge?
Yes, yes, because Mike Judge, he's man, I can't say enough about him. He's super super brilliant when it comes to writing and directing and uh, and man, just I can't say enough about Mike. He's just looking at his visions. Sometimes even when you don't see the vision, and then you see, like at the beginning, you don't see 100% the way he sees it, and then when you see everything all pieced up, and it's like, oh, wow, okay, I get it, I see it now. So it's like he's really a genius when it comes to stuff like this.
Did he allow much then for improv when it came to scenes? Like maybe give you guys one or two passes at it? Or was the script so great you were like, I don't want to touch it, Mike. I can't, I can't improve on my character.
Yeah, no, I mean we stuck to the script as much as possible, but the thing about Mike, he does let you play with a couple of takes, and then sometimes those are the takes they end up using because it just sounded so natural, and it just went with the character. They just end up using those scenes.
I mean, you got to be able to put your Latin flair on like a character like this. I mean, you have to be able to say like a phrase or two that you think that he would get out. I mean, like obviously you can't swear or whatever, but you can give a little, like what, like remember when your grandma threw her chancleta at you, or like you have to get a little bit of like Latin flair
Yeah,
on it and put
exactly.
your own little spin on it. And maybe he embraced that a little bit for you. And I think that would be a wonderful thing to add to this character to give it a little more authenticity.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's how Mike is. He'll let you run with it, and he'll tell you, if something could be a little bit better or you could improve something in a certain area, he'll tell you, okay, hey, try it this way, or you know what, that was good, but add this to it, and like that. So that's how Mike is. But for the most part, yeah, you kind of follow the script because it's already a good script, and that's one thing about me. I don't like butchering directors and writers' scripts sometimes, because some guys are like really they're really, I don't know, man. They're really technical about stuff like that. Sometimes when you start going too much off script, but not in Mike's case. Mike, he'll give you the script and then he'll let you run with a couple of different takes. And like I said, sometimes those are the lines he'll use because it just sounded so natural and it just went with the character.
All right. Well, we're loving you here on King of the Hill. What's next for you? Have you been busy working on some voice work or some on-screen projects, perchance? Obviously, you're still doing your wonderful comedy work.
Yes, yeah, I mean, we're out there doing stand up, so that's been my focus as well, stand up comedy. But I am working on a couple of different projects, on screen projects. So can't really say too much yet, because it's still in development. But we're on it. I'm sure, as soon as we get something going and we're ready to let stuff out, let people know, then we'll start releasing what we got going on.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the incredible work you do, whether it's making us laugh in comedy clubs or on screen here, like with King of the Hill?
Pretty much, just thank you for everybody that's been supportive, from new fans to old fans that have been following my career. I can't thank you guys enough for the love and support. And it's the journey ain't over. We're continuing, and we got a lot more funny projects that are going to be coming out. So stay tuned.